Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. Great filmmaker. Not just the film I'm going to talk about or the one that came after it, but, other ones, Lost Boys, Phone Booth, and my personal favorite, Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch it right now. Well, watch my video first, because they shall release the Schumacher Cut of Batman Forever. But it's not called that. It's called the Red Book Edition. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. All right, I've been wanting to make this video for a while, for a bit actually, but I just never could fit it. And right now I'm not even in my house this weekend. I'm out of town, and I thought, well, what a perfect time to post this on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever the hell I post it. And I guess you could say like the timing was right, because like I said, Joel Schumacher passed away at the age of 80, complications with cancer, which I didn't even know he had that. He's kind of been out. He hasn't really done much in a bit, and so it's kind of sad to hear that. But I wanted to talk about the infamous Schumacher Cut of Batman Forever. Of course, that's not what it's called, but I saw a lot of people after the announcement of Zack Snyder's Justice League. A lot of people were kind of started campaigning for releasing the Schumacher Cut, and well, it's been widely known for a while that there is an alternative cut of Batman Forever, but they called it the Red Book Edition. And why is it called the Red Book Edition? Well, you've seen the movie. You know what it means. Why do I have to answer everything for you? The Red Book, of course, is the Red Book when Bruce keeps on having these like little flashbacks when it comes to his parents' funeral. There's his dad's journal. That's a red book that he's written in like entries ever since Bruce was born. We see it briefly in the theatrical edition, but it turns out that Batman Forever, actually, the original cut was 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's 38 more minutes, and we know what a half an hour can do, and this is 38. It's almost 40. I mean, the possibilities. I mean, this movie, when you watch it, it's a guilty pleasure, 100%. I actually like it better than Batman Returns, and I know a lot of people hate me for that. It was heftier. It was, dare I say, darker. That's right. It was darker. You can actually go see, and I'll post a link down below. You can see the opening scene of Batman Forever. I remember the first time I came across this, I actually read the opening script out of the script and blah, blah, blah. And then finally footage came out, and you can actually, I'll provide it down below, where Two-Face escapes from Arkham, and it starts off fairly dark. Tommy Lee Jones wasn't that batshit crazy, pun intended. A lot of Jim Carrey improvisations, longer takes. I remember it was funny too, because there was that, the U2 song, something, thrill me, fill me, shill me, whatever the fuck me. Remember there was shots, there was like, if the bat wants to play, we'll play. That wasn't in the theatrical cut. I remember that. And it was actually this right here. I'm actually pulling up an old Den of Geek article that was actually referencing Batman on Film. And Batman on Film just recently rehashed this article. So just 3 years later. I guess, quarantine and all. Extended fight scenes when Alfred and Bruce were like figuring out the riddles. Those scenes went longer. You can actually see another scene, which I'll, if I find it, I'll post it down below, where you actually have Dick like in the gym of Wayne Manor, like on that wooden thing with like the arms, and you do that whole thing, and Bruce and him are talking. There's more. They flesh out Dick a little bit more. I know that sounds weird, but you get what I'm saying. It's an actually pretty cool scene, because Bruce walks up to him and they have a little conversation. Then all of a sudden Bruce just does this kick, and it's like, remember, it's Batman, bitch. But like I said, it's called the Red Book Edition because they really dive into Bruce's psyche in this movie. And I tell you what, the theatrical movie, I always say it. I think I even said it on Film Junkie Live recently. His Bruce Wayne, Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne, is better than Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne. Keaton's Batman is better, for sure, but Kilmer's Batman's pretty good too, but it's Bruce Wayne. There's just something about it. Like, when Chase was in trouble, when he thought she was in trouble, he charged through that big-ass door. There's a lot of things that Bruce does, and there's a lot of Bruce Wayne moments and more than we saw in the theatrical release, or the release we have now. One of my biggest gripes is when the Riddler shows up at Two-Face's lair, and it's like, how did he know how did he know that he got there, and the box, like the Enigma box, was already there, and he goes, this is how I found you, and it didn't make sense. Like, there was a whole little piece missing of how those boxes got there. Well, guess what? This. Even says Drew Barrymore's sugar testing out Riddler's tech along with Debbie Mazur's spice would have been given it even says it would have given female characters a bit more to do, because Chase also helps, fight off the goons and everything like that. It just sounds like a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's some dark stuff too, where Riddler actually drugs Chase. You could see that image right here, and there's a spot too where I guess at the very end, instead of them running towards the camera, when you see the bat signal behind them, they're perched up on a gargoyle with the bat, which I'm assuming the bat signal, like the other two movies, was in the sky. So that just shows you right there that Schumacher was going to be like, hey, guess what? I'm going to keep up the tradition that Burton started, and we're going to have the ending shot being the bat signal up in the air. But for some fucking reason, they changed it to them running full speed at the camera, which, not bad, but I would have preferred this. It also says right here that Batman follows his bat satellite navigation to a scene of a crime only to end up being laughed at by ladies in a hair salon. So something a little light moment. It would establish that the Riddler has tampered with the bat navigation, explaining why he and Two-Face have such free reign of the city at points. Yeah, remember when they're saying like there's no sign of Batman? Well, that's because Nigma was fucking with him. I mean, when you watch it, you could tell that this thing was cut up. I mean, watch it again and just see how scenes just seem to just boom, 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 go through it. And like I said, there was a much darker story here, and you can watch the scenes that are provided down below, which you could see. So, I mean, there's a couple of clips here. Like I said, I'll drop it. And so it even says the whole subplot about the Red Book also ended up on the cutting room floor in the finished film's version of Bruce's flashback, which you can watch above. That's what they have, like the clip right there. The young Bruce picks up Thomas Wayne's diary during his parents' wake, lamenting that his father will never write in it again. Bruce grabs a book and runs into the night. He falls down a hole and sees a huge bat and hatches on the plan to become Batman. But in the longer cut of the film, there was more to that, I guess you could say. In an extended version of the flashback, young Bruce finds a passage in his father's diary written shortly before his death. Bruce insists on seeing a movie tonight. Bruce insists on seeing a movie tonight. Ouch. Those 7 words shatter young Bruce's life. I mean, come on. That is depth. That is depth into that psyche. That's why he blames himself. Oh, it's so crazy. I mean, just hearing that just gives you goosebumps right there. I mean, my God. Additionally, embrace the lines alluding to Batman being a killer. Also, cut from the movie. Two-Face would have called him one in the helicopter, and a TV report would have suggested it too. So they were going to hark on the Batman is a killer thing. You know, that the thing that everybody can't shut the fuck up about? They were going to mention that in this movie, that Batman is a killer. I mean, my God, but they totally removed that from the movie. I mean, jeez. And then it says both scenes took place before the flashback, meaning that the revelation that Bruce perceives himself as a bringer of death would have been foreshadowed. In a clunky way, maybe, but foreshadowed nonetheless. So they would have like delved into that part. And then, of course, there's this shot right here that's, basically Bruce having his way with a bat. This is what started coronavirus. Pretty cool shot. I will say that. Pretty cool shot. But I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it right there. I mean, there is a Red Book edition, apparently, that is more in line with what Schumacher wanted. Who knows if we'll get it? I'm sure there's unfinished scenes. I mean, even when you watch that, when I did a rewatch of that first the Batman Forever trailer, that thing that wasn't even cut fully. You know, the music was off, everything was off. There was just a lot of things off, and I'm just kind of wondering, like, that must have been when things were I don't know. Who knows what the hell was going on with all that, because it doesn't seem like, does it seem like they would have started it like that with him getting ready with all the costume? Most likely, I don't think that was a reshoot. Maybe the quippy line was. I don't know. But it's still a cool shot, even with like the sound effects and everything when he's putting on the costume. It's all badass. You know, of course, they upped it in Batman and Robin when they're like, hey, let's show your ass. But there you go, guys. Go check out those clips. I'll post as much as I can down below. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, who knows if we'll end up seeing it. Maybe if we do start a campaign, maybe it's locked up in a WB vault somewhere, and then eventually they will release the Schumacher Cut, aka the Red Book Edition. I'd love to see it because, I mean, I enjoy watching this movie regardless. It's a guilty pleasure, but you could tell it got fucked with, and you could tell there was probably a darker movie, even with all the neon and stuff. There's probably a little bit of a dark movie somewhere in there, and it would have been nice to see. So there you go, guys. I just wanted to do that video real quick. I highly doubt that there's any kind of alternate edition of Batman and Robin. I think Warner Brothers was like, hey man, we gotta sell fucking toys, don't be dark. It's just funny how, this stuff has been happening for decades. It's so stupid. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all this? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel, it's filmjunkie.com. Follow me on the sock meds over there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Patreon if you want to help out down below. And of course, I got some shirts down there too. All right, guys. Talk to you later.